Can ICE agents be prosecuted for Minneapolis shootings? Pakistan, 7 Muslim countries announced decision to join Trump's Board of Peace.
Netanyahu accepts invitation to join Trump's Board of Peace. EU chief vows massive Greenland investments. Kremlin says Trump invited Putin to join Board of Peace. 2 U.S. citizens killed by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis amid controversial crackdown. Federal immigration agents have shot and killed 2 U.S. citizens in separate enforcement actions this month in Minneapolis, events that have fueled protests, political backlash, and legal scrutiny. The most recent fatality occurred on January 24th, when 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an intensive care nurse, was shot by federal agents during a heightened immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis. The Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, has characterized the shooting as an act of self-defense, saying Preddy allegedly resisted efforts to disarm him. However, bystander video reviewed by news organizations shows Preddy holding only a phone and attempting to aid other protesters before he was pepper-sprayed, wrestled to the ground, and shot multiple times. This killing followed an earlier incident on January 7th, when 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed by an Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer during a separate confrontation. Federal officials initially described the shooting as a defensive response, but critics, including local leaders and rights advocates, dispute that account.
Pakistan and 7 other Muslim-majority countries have announced their decision to join U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed Board of Peace initiative. In a joint statement released on Wednesday, the foreign ministers of Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar confirmed they had accepted President Trump's invitation. The ministers said each country would complete the required legal procedures to formalize participation, noting that Egypt, Pakistan, and the UAE have already announced their decision to join. The countries said the initiative builds on cooperation with President Trump last October on a plan aimed at ending Israel's military campaign in Gaza. The UAE announced its participation earlier this week, followed by Pakistan and Egypt on Wednesday.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accepted an invitation to join U.S. President Donald Trump's Board of Peace, his office said on Wednesday. In a statement, Netanyahu's office said the Prime Minister would become a member of the board, which is expected to include world leaders. The initiative was initially presented as a body to oversee the reconstruction of post-war Gaza. However, the board's charter, reviewed by AFP, does not limit its role to the Palestinian territory. Under the terms of the initiative, member countries are required to contribute up to $1 billion to secure a permanent seat on the board. The announcement comes as the Board of Peace continues to draw international attention and mixed reactions, with some countries joining and others declining to participate. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Tuesday that the European Union is planning major investments in Greenland amid rising tensions over the Arctic region. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, von der Leyen said the EU is preparing a massive European investment surge in Greenland, though she did not provide specific figures. The move comes as the bloc responds to renewed statements by U.S. President Donald Trump about taking control of the autonomous Danish territory for security reasons. Von der Leyen stressed that the EU remains committed to working with the United States and other partners on Arctic security, calling it a shared strategic interest. She said the bloc would step up investments, including potentially directing part of its increased defense spending toward Arctic capabilities such as European icebreakers and other critical equipment. She warned that escalating tensions could weaken allied efforts and benefit rival powers seeking influence in the region. EU leaders are scheduled to meet Thursday in Brussels for an extraordinary summit to coordinate a unified response to the latest developments surrounding Greenland. The Kremlin said Monday that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been invited to join U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed Board of Peace. Kremlin spokesperson said Moscow is reviewing the proposal and expressed hope for further contacts with Washington on the matter.